of our guests today, online listeners.
Hare
Thank you very much for
Krishna.
joining today.
Hare Krishna. We welcome all of our Facebook Live viewers and our viewers over YouTube Live. We welcome all of you to this very special session on Sri Bhramar Gita. So we'll start with some invocation prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiyet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Nama Pankajanabhaya Nama Pankajamaline Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangraye Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Vakalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam Tatra Dharana Paraha Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swami Niti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagara Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangurlangayate girim Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurung Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Again, we welcome all of you to this section on very, very special chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam in the 10th canto, chapter 47, which is entitled The Song of the Bee, the Bhramar Gita. So, without any further ado, we will start today's session.
So, this is chapter 47 of the Song of Bee, Bhramar Gita.
So here in the first verse, we saw yesterday how Srila Shukadev Goswami, he is, of course, we saw that, how Uddhava came and saw Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya yesterday. And the gopis, they came and saw the beautiful chariot in front of Nanda Baba's palace. And they're inquiring, who is this? Who is this person who has come? And at that moment, Uddhava comes out from the palace of Nanda Maharaj. So this is the starting of this particular chapter, where Srila Shukadev Goswami is saying, the young women of Vraja became astonished upon seeing Lord Krishna's servant, who had long arms, whose eyes resembled newly grown lotus, who wore a yellow garment and a lotus garland, and whose lotus-like face glowed with brightly polished earrings. They thought, who is this young handsome man? Where has he come from? And whom does he serve? He's wearing Krishna's clothes and ornaments. Saying this, the gopis eagerly crowded around Uddhava, whose shelter was the lotus feet of the Uttama Shloka Lord Sri Krishna. So Krishna's purpose of, sending Uddhava was served. Uddhava means Murtiman Utsav, that who become very pleased as soon as they see Uddhava. So the gopis, as soon as they saw Uddhava, they immediately remembered their beloved Lord Krishna. And they were so much filled with ecstasy. So the first purpose was served of Krishna to send Uddhava to Vrindavan. So the gopis in text 3, the Shukadev Goswami is explaining that the gopis bowing their heads in humility, the gopis duly honored Uddhava with their shy, smiling glances and pleasing words. They took him to a quiet place, seated him comfortably, and began to question him, for they recognized him to be a messenger from Krishna, the master of the goddess of fortune. So they recognized, they could immediately understand that, yes, this person, he looks so similar to his master. There's a very specific reason Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that how the gopis were able to understand that this person, he looks so much like Krishna, but he is definitely not Krishna, but his mannerisms, his dressing style, the way he's interacting, the way he's moving around, it is reminding us of our dearly beloved Lord Krishna. So he must be the servitor of our beloved Lord Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada says that the disciple is recognized by, we can clearly understand who the disciple belongs to if the disciple is a genuine disciple. Like who the master is can be recognized by looking at the servant. Because the servant has the same kind of features, they develop the same kind of attributes, they develop the same kind of, physical attributes also, their mannerisms, their talking, their gestures, they resemble so much to their own master that anyone who sees them will be able to understand, oh, this person belongs to this particular master. It's very evident. Very, very, heart-wrenching time was for us this past week. Still, we are not able to go through this. But when we were witnessing Srila Bhakticharu Maharaj's departure, and when we were seeing his divine body, the final rites in Orlando that they did, the first thing that came to both our minds, in my Prabhu's mind and my mind, was that when they focused the camera on Srila Bhakticharu Maharaj's lotus face, Prabhu immediately commented that Maharaj is looking just like Srila Prabhupada. He's looking so blissful, his face is resembling like Srila Prabhupada, just like Srila Prabhupada. That is the sign of a true servitor, that they resemble the master so much. So this is how the gopis also recognized Uddhava, that he must be the messenger, he's come as a servitor of our beloved master Krishna. He has come. So that's how the gopis recognized. So text 4, the gopis, they took Uddhava to a secluded place so that they could talk to him openly. So they said, gopis said, no, we know, my dear Uddhava, that you are the personal servant of Krishna, the chief of the Yadus, and that you have come here on the order of your good master who desires to give pleasure to his parents. So that's why you have come here. We understand it. Just by looking at you, we can guess this. So like this, the gopis are, they're pouring out their heart to Uddhava, saying that, okay, you gave the message that Krishna gave to his parents. Has Krishna sent anything for us? Does Krishna remember us? Like this, the gopis were asking different questions to Uddhava. And what happened to one of the gopis who was just not interested in listening to what was the other gopis talking to Uddhava? What happened to her? Let us listen from Prabhu.
So here in this verse, it is explained that one of the gopis, she was meditating on different, on her previous association with Krishna. And while the other gopis, they are talking to Uddhava, this one gopi, she got distracted by a honeybee, and she saw a honeybee before her. And she imagined, could this honeybee be a messenger sent by Krishna? Because now she was seeing everyone as a messenger. This honeybee specifically, she was attracted to as the messenger of Krishna. So she spoke, Kachin madhukaram drishtva dhyayanti Krishna sangamam priya prasthapitam dutam kalpayit vedam abravit. Srimati Radharani is referred to in this verse as Kachit, a certain gopi. And Srila Jiva Goswami, he said that Shukadev Goswami, when he is saying this Kachit Madhukaram Drishtva, one gopi, that gopi is Srimati Radharani. It is supported by Agni Purana. Srila Jiva Goswami says about this, that this is Srimati Radharani herself. From here, Srimati Radharani starts interacting with this Bhramara, this honeybee, bumblebee. And this is called Bhramara Geet. From verse 12 to 21 is the most beautiful Shri Bhramara Geet. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he explains that there are 10 divisions of love in divine madness. Divya Unmada, transcendental Unmada, transcendental madness, which are described or expressed by 10 different divisions of variegated speech, which is also called Chitra Jalpa. So Srimati Radharani was in this Divyonmada, this mood of divine madness, specifically displayed in this special pastime where she's speaking things as if she's completely bewildered, but actually she is in Mahabhava of Srimati Radharani. It is said that Srila Rupa Goswami in his Ujjvala Nilamani, he explains these different ecstasies, that only within the Princess of Vrindavan, only within this Srimati Radharani, this ecstasy of bewilderment arises. We'll see how these different verses, they are actually bewilderment of Srimati Radharani in Yogamaya, but also she's indirectly glorifying Krishna. She has attained such a stage of bewilderment that it almost resembles delusion. This has many aspects, as we said. As Chitra Jalpa, we will see multiple aspects of Chitra Jalpa here. And it's filled with anger, it's filled with compromises, It's filled with so many different ecstasy. And then in the end, it culminates in her intense eagerness and anxiety for Krishna. So let us sing this, let us see this Bhramar Gita. We will sing each of these verses 12 to 21 together, and then we will explain the meaning of this verse. And then after the verse 21, we will continue the rest of the song of the B chapter. All right?
So this song of the bee, actually just like how Gopi Geet is, and these are all very, very intimate pastimes and very esoteric subject matters. We are actually not even qualified to, what to speak of singing it, even to talk about this subject matter. We don't feel ourselves qualified at all, because this is extremely on a very, very high level of exponential love that Krishna and Srimati Radharani share, especially the love that Srimati Radharani has for Krishna. But in the mood of just following in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada and just trying to repeat the words of our acharyas, we are actually just trying to repeat that, and with their blessings and with all of your blessings, we will try to humbly attempt to dive into this nectar of Sri Bhramar Gita. So this is text 12.
Gopi Uvacha
Madhupakitava bandho Masprisangrim sapatnya Kuchavilulita mala Kumkumashma shujirna Vahatu madhupatistan Manilena prasadam Yadu sadasi vidambyam Yasya dutastvamidre.
The gopi said, "O honeybee, O friend of a cheater, don't touch my feet with your whiskers, which are smeared with the kumkum that rubbed onto Krishna's garlands when it was crushed by a rival lover. Let Krishna satisfy the woman of Mathura. One who sends a messenger like you will certainly be ridiculed in the Yadu's assembly." This is actually a song of love of Srimati Radharani towards Sri Krishna. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur here points out that this and the following 9 verses, they exemplified 10 kinds of impulsive speech, like we said, Chitra Jalpa. This particular one illustrates Prajalpa. We will see Prajalpa, Vijalpa, Parijalpa, Ujalpa, so many different kinds of Jalpas. But this particular verse is Prajalpa. Prajalpa means, Srila Rupa Goswami explains, speech that denigrates that tactlessness of one's lover with expressions of disrespect. Some speech which is spoken out of envy, jealousy, and pride. This Prajalpa is spoken out of love, which is covered or which is expressed in the form of envy, jealousy, or pride. It may look like that externally, but actually it is full of love. Rupa Goswami also talks about another kind of Prajalpa, which are talks devoid of Krishna consciousness, not about Krishna, but about gossip, subject matter. This Prajalpa by Srimati Radharani is different. It is about Krishna, but in a Divyonmada. If you see in this verse, even though Srimati Radharani seems to be chastising Krishna and his messenger, she's actually internally glorifying Krishna and requesting that when she is, that give this time to the woman of Mathura. She's actually saying, yes, you should give this time to women of Mathura, because they are also longing and desiring for your love. So in this way, even though she is saying in a different way, she means that she wants to glorify Krishna. So with this, we go to the next verse.
So this Bhramar Geet, the specialty of this Bhramar Geet is that these 10 verses are all sung by Srimati Radharani herself. So this is text 13. Sakridadhara sudham swam mohinim payati tva sumanasa iva sadyas tatyajisma bhavadre paricharati katham ta pada padmam nu padma yapi batarita chita uttama shloka jape. After making us drink the enchanting nectar of his lips only once, Krishna suddenly abandoned us, just as you might quickly abandon some flowers. How is it then that Goddess Padma willingly serves your lotus feet? Alas, the answer must certainly be that her mind has been stolen away by his deceitful words. So this one, Srila Rupa Goswami in his Ujjvala Nilamani, this particular, the second one, talk of Srimati Radharani, he is quoting this speech of hers to be as parijalpa, which means that through various devices, showing one's own cleverness by exposing the mercilessness, the duplicity, the unreliability, and so on of one's own Lord. So Srimati Radharani is saying that Krishna, you are just like this honeybee. You go from one flower to the other. You don't stay in one place. But actually, she is actually meaning that Krishna, you are very merciful. Just like the bumblebee doesn't just sit attracted to just one flower. He goes and gives his mercy to all the flowers. The bumblebee feels that the other flowers should not feel left out. So Srimati Radharani is telling Krishna that, my dear Krishna, I am giving you permission that please interact with the other flowers who are in Mathura waiting to receive the nectar of your lips. This is the permission that she is giving to Krishna. And we'll see how from chapter 49 onwards, after receiving this permission, Krishna actually then starts giving his mercy to the women of, he starts marrying other women. He gets, he gives his mercy to Trivakra, Kubja. That's the first mercy he gives. Then he starts marrying Rukmini Devi, then Satyabhama, one after the other, he starts marrying. So this is the time that Srimati Radharani is giving him her permission. This is how the Acharya has explained to us, that this is the love of Srimati Radharani. She's telling that Krishna, you should not just be bound to us. You are like that merciful bee. You should take the nectar from every flower so that no flower feels left out from your mercy. So this is how Srimati Radharani is giving her permission to Shri Krishna. We move to text 14. Kimiha bahushadangre gayasi tvam yaduna adhipati magranam agratona puranam vijaya sakha sakhina giyata कल्पितकुचरुजस्ते कल्पयन्तिष्ठमीष्टा.
O bee, why do you sing here so much about the Lord of the Yadus in front of us homeless people? These topics are old news to us. Better, you sing about that friend of Arjun in front of his new girlfriends, the burning desire he has now relieved. Those ladies will surely give you charity you are begging. According to the learned authorities, this is a type of love known as Vijalpa, a speech known as Vijalpa, which is a sarcastic speech that is addressed to Sri Krishna, who is the killer of Aghasura. And this openly expresses jealousy while at the same time hinting at one's angry pride. But this is at a transcendental platform because Krishna is the center. Actually, there is no envy in the spiritual world or in the heart of Srimati Radharani. She is actually glorifying Krishna and his association with devotees. Here, when she's saying that these topics are old news to us, she's actually saying, telling the Bhramara, the honeybee, that don't sing this to us. We are already singing Krishna's glories. Go and sing it to the residents of Hastinapur, to the residents of Mathura, and all the other people. Preach it to them. That is very important. So, even though it is sarcastically towards Krishna, Srimati Radharani is still all compassionate. We go to the next one.
So this is text 15. Divi bhuvi charasaya kapastriyasta durapa kapata ruchirahasa bhuvi champhasyayashu charana raja upaste yasya bhutirvayamka api cha kripana pakshe uttama shloka shabda. In heaven, on earth, or in the subterranean sphere, what women are unavailable to him? He simply arches his eyebrows and smiles with deceptive charm, and they all become his. The Supreme Goddess herself worships the dust of his lotus feet. So what is our position in comparison? But at least those who are wretched can chant his name. Uttama Shloka. So Srila Rupa Goswami says in Ujjvala Nilamani that this declaration of Lord Hari's duplicitous nature in a mood of spite, which is born out of pride, together with jealousy and spoken insults directed against Krishna, has been termed as Ujjalpa by the wise. So this is called as Ujjalpa. So Krishna, he is, Srimati Radharani is saying that Krishna is equal to everyone. But we know that, Krishna, he keeps us, the Vrajavadhus, to be of very special category. But now I'm telling him, Krishna, it's okay. We know that you are ours and we are yours. We know that. But give your mercy to people from other places too. This is the hidden meaning of this particular verse. We move on to text 16. Visrija shirasi padam vedmaham chatukarair anunaya vaidushaste bheyitya dautyar mukundat swakritaya vishrishta patya patyanyaloka
Vyaya Srijada Krita Cheta
Kim nu sandhyamasmin.
Keep your head off my feet. I know what you're doing. You expertly learned diplomacy from Mukunda, and now you come here as messenger with flattering words. But he abandoned those who, for his sake alone, gave up their children, husbands, and all other relations. He's simply ungrateful. Why should I make up with him now? This kind of speech is described as sanjalpa, that speech which cries out with deep irony and insulting gestures how the beloved is so ungrateful. Actually, there is a wonderful word that is used here in this verse called anunaya. And Srimati Radharani, in her speech, she is saying that anunaya is diplomacy. But actually, anunaya has several meanings. There is the act of conciliation, which is diplomacy, but it also means being respectful, being humble and respectful. So she is accepting the fact that Krishna is actually very humble, very respectful to others. But she is saying that it is diplomacy. This Anunaya word is also used in Chaitanya Charitamrita in Ante Leela, chapter 2, text 134. Aste vyaste puri gosai prabhu age gela Anunaya kori prabhure ghore vasaila. In great haste, Srila Paramananda Puri Gosai went before him with great humility, persuaded him to sit down in his room. Here, Anunaya means humility. So, Srimati Radharani is saying diplomacy, but she actually is glorifying Krishna that he's so humble and respectful. So, we go to the next verse.
Mrigayuriva kripandram vivyadhe lokadharma striyamakrita virupa strijita kamayanam balimapi balimatva Vishtaya Dhamshavadhyas Tadalamasita Sakya Dushtyajas Tatkathartha. Like a hunter, he cruelly shot the king of the monkeys with arrows. Because he was conquered by a woman, he disfigured another woman who came to him with lusty desires. And even after consuming the gifts of Bali Maharaj, he bound him up with ropes as if he were a crow. So let us give up all friendship with this dark complexioned boy, even if we can't give up talking about him. So here, Srimati Radharani, she is, this particular context of the speech that Srimati Radharani is giving, Srila Rupa Goswami is explaining that this is given when a lover is impelled by jealousy and fear and declares that Lord Hari is unworthy of her attachment because of his harshness, because of his, improper behavior towards, others, and his dishonesty, and such speech is actually called as avajalpa. So this is what Srila Rupa Goswami says. And we, tried to see what Srila Prabhupada is talking about this in the Krishna book. So Srila Prabhupada, in the Krishna book, when he's talking about this particular chapter, we took a quotation from about this particular verse from Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada very beautifully is saying what Srimati Radharani actually means in this particular verse. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that Srimati Radharani is telling the bee that, "Oh, you poor messenger, you are only a less intelligent servant. You do not know how much. You do not know anything about Krishna. How ungrateful and hard hearted he has been, not only in this life, but in his previous lives also. We have heard all of this from my grandmother Purnamasi. She has informed us that Krishna was born in a Kshatriya family previous to this birth and was known as Ramachandra. In that birth, instead of killing Vali, an enemy of his friend, in the manner of a Kshatriya, he killed him like a hunter. A hunter takes a secure hiding place, then kills an animal without facing it. So Lord Ramachandra, as a Kshatriya, should have fought with Vali face to face, but instigated by his friend, he killed him from behind a tree. Thus he deviated from the religious principles of a Kshatriya. Also, he was so attracted by the beauty of his wife Sita that he converted Shupranakha, the sister of Ravana, into an ugly woman by cutting off her nose and her ears. Shupranakha proposed an intimate relationship with him, and as a Kshatriya, he should have satisfied her. But he was so henpecked that he could not forget Sita Devi and converted Shupranakha into an ugly woman. Before that birth as a Kshatriya, he took birth as a Brahmana boy known as Vamanadev and asked charity from Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj was so magnanimous that he gave him whatever he had. Yet Krishna, as Vamanadev, ungratefully arrested him just like a crow and pushed him down to the Patal kingdom. We know all about Krishna and how ungrateful he is. But here is the difficulty, that in spite of his being so cruel and hard-hearted, it is very difficult for us to give up talking about him. This is direct quote by Srila Prabhupada explaining this particular verse from the Krishna book. So Srimati Radharani, she is, criticizing Krishna, that in like Lord Ramachandra, as Lord Ramachandra, he did all nasty things. He acted against the principles of Kshatriya. What did he do as Vamanadev to Bali Maharaj? He's so ungrateful. He's so unreliable. But look at our helplessness. In spite that we know all this thing about that black, boy, black complexioned boy, we can't stop loving that black complexioned boy. That is how much our love is so deep for that boy that we can't stop loving him. This is the mood of Srimati Radharani. So with this, we move to text 8. Yadanucharita leela karna piyusha viprut sakridadana vidhuta dvandva dharma vinasha sapadi griha kutumba dinamutsrija daina bhavaiha vihanga bhikshucharyam charanti.
To hear about the pastimes that Krishna regularly performs is nectar for the ears. For those who relish just a single drop of that nectar, even once, their dedication to material duality is ruined. Many such persons have suddenly given up their wretched homes and families and themselves become wretched. They've traveled here to Vrindavan to wander about like birds, begging for their living. This, Srila Rupa Goswami says, is abhijalpa, when a lover indirectly states with a remorse that her beloved is fit to be given up. Why is she going after him? Such a speech is uttered as if like a crying of a bird. That is called abhijalpa. Actually, if we see, she says to hear about the pastimes that Krishna regularly performs is nectar for the ears. She's glorifying Krishna Katha, and that Just by a single drop of that nectar, if someone just hears once, their dedication to materialism goes away. It removes material desires. This is how Srimati Radharani is glorifying Krishna and Krishna Katha.
Just like in the Gopi Geet, the gopis, when they're glorifying, when they're searching for Krishna, in text 9, the gopis are singing, Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibhiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadattatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Bhurida Jana. Today, we somehow never planned, but both of us, this is the tune. Generally, we don't sing this tune, but I think in honor of Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj, this tune is very dear to Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj. So somehow Krishna made us remember this tune, and we just sang this tune. It was not planned by us. We had planned to sing the other tune, which we normally sing. But in honor of Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj, we dedicate this Gopi Geet to him. Jai Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj ki jai. So we move on to text 19 of the Bhramar Geet. Vayamritamiva jima vyaritam shradhana kulikarutamivagnya Krishna vadvarinya dadrishurasa krideta Tannakaspashati Smararuja upamantrin Bhanyatamanyarta.
Faithfully taking his deceitful words as true, we became just like the black deer's foolish wives, who trust the cruel hunter's song. Thus we repeatedly felt the sharp pain of love caused by the touch of his nails. O messenger, please talk about something besides Krishna. This is known as ajalpa. This is a statement which is spoken in disgust, describing how Krishna is deceitful in this sense, as per Srimati Radharani, and brings one misery. And it's also implying that while he's giving misery to the lovers, he gives happiness to others. This is epitome of love, that Srimati Radharani is feeling so much pain in separation of Krishna that it's coming out as disgust. But here also, she is actually glorifying Krishna in this way, that please talk about something besides Krishna, because she cannot think, Srimati Radharani cannot think of anything other than Krishna. She's telling, please tell me something which besides Krishna. This is the level of Krishna consciousness. For us, we are forcing ourselves to think of Krishna. We are telling, please tell us something about Krishna, so our mind can get distracted from the materialistic thoughts and come into Krishna conscious thoughts. But Srimati Radharani is so much in Krishna consciousness, she's saying, tell me something other than Krishna, because my mind is just, even if I don't want, it automatically goes to Krishna. This is the state of Srimati Radharani's love. We go to the next verse.
Priya Sakha Punaraga Preyasa Prishita Kim Varaya Kim Anurundhe Mananiyo Simenga
नयसि कथमिहास्मान् दुष्ट्यजाद्वन्द्वपार्श्वम् सततमुरसि सौम्या श्रीर्वधू सकमास्ते. O friend of dear one, has my beloved sent you here again? I should honor you, friend. So please choose whatever boon you wish. But why have you come back here to take us to him, whose love is so difficult to give, whose conjugal love is so difficult to give up? After all, gentle bee, he is the consort, his consort is the goddess Shri Lakshmi Devi, and she's always with him, staying upon his chest. This is called Pratijalpa as per Srila Rupa Goswami, when the lover is humbly stating that I am unworthy of attaining my beloved, and she cannot give up the hope of having a conjugal relationship with him. This takes now Srimati Radharani from anger to sarcasm. Now she is taking the path of respect for the message of Krishna. So we see how her speech is expressing her pain of separation, first from anger, then to sarcasm, and now to respect. Right? We go to the last verse of Bhramar Gita.
Apibat madhupuryam Aryaputro dhanushte Smarati sapitrigehan Soumya bandhumscha gopan Kvachidapi sakathana Kinkarainam drinite Bhujama guru sugandham Murni adhasya karano. Oh Uddhava, it is indeed regrettable that Krishna resides in Mathura. Does he remember his father's household affairs and his friends, the cowherd boys? Oh, great soul, does he ever talk about us, his maidservants? When will he lay on our heads his aguru-scented hand? So this one, Srila Rupa Goswami explains that when out of sincere honesty, a lover questions Sri Hari with gravity, with humility, with eagerness, such speech is known as Sujalpa. So it is actually said that this entire Bhramar Gita, is a song that Srimati Radharani herself is singing, that this is a mixed emotion of experiencing extreme pain in the separation of her beloved Sri Krishna. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, I was once hearing a lecture by Srila Jayapataka Maharaj, and he was quoting that just like hot sugar candy, hot sugar candy molasses, like gur, which is jaggery. When jaggery is made, it is, you can make candy out of it. And that candy, to taste it, it's very, very good. But because it is hot, it cannot be had. It burns the tongue. But because the taste is so good, it is so nectar-filled taste, you can't give up. Even though you're burning your tongue, you feel like eating it again and again and again, even though the tongue is burning. So this is the state of Srimati Radharani, that she can't just stop loving Krishna. And at the same time, she's giving him permission to go and to, give his mercy, give his love to the other women from the city of Mathura, the surrounding cities. Give them the mercy. And we know that you have a unique relationship with us. So this is how Srimati Radharani, her Divyon Mother, is expressed in this beautiful Bhramar Gita. And this reminded us of a very beautiful pastime that we had heard from Srila Radharaman Maharaj, which is in this very context. When we were in Prem Sarovar while walking from Barshana to Nandagaon, it's a very short walk of 8 kilometers only. The first place that we came to was Prem Sarovar. And in Prem Sarovar, a very beautiful pastime happened, which is called as, which manifests the mood of Srimati Radharani's Prema Vaichitti. So it is said that Maharaj was explaining that Srimati Radharani and Sri, Govindaji, they were, the Sakhis had arranged on the banks of this beautiful, in a beautiful kunja, they had arranged for a very beautiful swing, and both the divine couple were swinging on that swing. And Sridam, Sudam, Madhumangal, the Sakhas were there on one side, and the Sakhis were there on one side. They were all having a very nectarian Leela going on. Suddenly, the face of Srimati Radharani is so beautiful, like a golden lotus, that a bumblebee mistook the lotus face of Srimati Radharani to be that of an actual lotus flower and started coming near her face. And when she came near, the bumblebee came near the face, it is said that, Sudama got very, very scared that that bumblebee might bite the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, might sting her. So then, Sudama, he just took the chamara and he blew off, from near the face of Srimati Radharani, and the Bhramara flew away. And as soon as the Bhramar flew away, Sudama shouted out, saying that, "Oh, Madhu Bhagya, maine Madhu ko bhaga diya," means I chased away that Madhu, means the Bhramara, means the bumblebee. Madhumakhi, in Hindi it's called Madhu. So Sudama was saying, "Madhu Bhagya, Madhu bhaga diya maine." In Hindi, like that, they were saying, "Oh, I drove away Madhu." And listening that, to this word, the statement by Sudama, Srimati Radharani, she just fainted. Although Sri Krishna was sitting right next to her on the very same swing, Srimati Radharani fainted. And then when she was, Krishna was shocked. All the Sakhis were shocked. What happened? What happened? And they tried to bring Srimati Radharani back. And Srimati Radharani was crying that, "Oh, Krishna went away. Krishna went away. Why did he go away? Why did he go?" So then Krishna said, "No, Radhe, look, I'm here. I'm right here next to you." This mood is called as Prema Vaichitti. And Srila Radharaman Maharaj could not go on any further. And he explained that, this is, by seeing this kind of love of Srimati Radharani, by seeing this kind of, ecstatic emotions of pure love, from Srimati Radharani, Krishna started, crying tears of ecstasy. Srimati Radharani started crying tears of ecstasy. And from there, Premashru, from their loving tears, the Sarovar was made, which is called today as Sri Prem Sarovar, which is made by the loving tears of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. So this is the Prema Vaichitti, and this is the, position of Srimati Radharani, that although the lover is right next to Srimati Radharani, that she's feeling that Krishna has gone away, although he is physically present next to her. That is the epitome of love of Srimati Radharani, which is described as Prema Vaichitti. So now we will continue on with text 22 with the rest of the Bhramar Gita chapter.
So in this, after the Bhramar Gita, Srimati Radharani has poured out her heart to this so-called messenger in the form of the bumblebee. Shukadev Goswami says that having heard all of this, Uddhava tried to pacify all the gopis who were so dear to have darshan of Lord Krishna. And then he started telling them the message of Krishna. for which he had actually come. The real purpose of Uddhava coming to Vrindavan. Krishna wanted his message to be given to the gopis. So Uddhava started by saying, all of you gopis are so successful and you are worshipped by the entire universe. Worthy, universally worshipable. Why? Because you've dedicated all your thoughts, all your words, all your minds to Vasudev completely. And because of your great fortune, the standard of pure devotion that you have established for the Lord, for Uttama Shloka, is a standard which even sages, great sages, can hardly attain. So you are even much, much more advanced than these great sages who are sitting in meditation, because your mind is constantly in samadhi, in worshipping, remembering Krishna. Now I'll tell you the message, who have come here to bring you this message. So then he says, listen carefully, my dear gopis. Krishna said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has said, you are never actually separated from me, because I am the soul of the entire creation. Just like all the elements of nature, like earth, water, fire, air, ether, they are present everywhere and everything in different quantities, in different compositions. In the same way, I am also present in everyone's mind. I'm present in mind. I'm present in everyone's life air. I'm present in everyone's senses. And I'm also present in the physical elements and the modes of nature. So I'm never separated from you. I am there with you. This is one of the ways we can remember how Krishna is present with us, even now. Because he's the super soul of the entire creation. But he said the actual reason why I have stayed away from your sight, I know that I am the beloved of your sight. You want to see me, but I'm present everywhere. I'm present near you. But the reason I have stayed away from your sight, from your vision, is because I want to intensify your meditation upon me and thus draw your minds closer to me. I want you to see me through your mind, not just through your eyes. It is said that when someone does not have any eyes, his other senses are much more heightened. They have some special powers. His sense of hearing becomes very strong. His sense of touch becomes very strong. His mind can feel objects coming in front of him, the obstacles, because he has developed that intensity within his mind to see things without the eyes. And so Krishna is saying, when we do not see someone without the eyes, we are actually intensifying the other senses, the perception of Krishna through other senses and the mind. Krishna said, when someone's lover is far away, the woman actually thinks much more than when he's present before her. So therefore, your minds now are totally absorbed in me, and they are free from all other engagement. Don't you remember me always? Yes. Why? Because I'm not present in front of you. So therefore, you will soon have me again in your presence by my remembrance. So with this, Shukadev Goswami said, when the women of Vraja heard the message of Krishna, they were so grateful. Krishna sent a message for us. Even though externally their speech was very sarcastic, but they were internally feeling so grateful. They don't feel worthy that Krishna remembered us. Krishna gave this message to us. Wow. And through that message, they felt Krishna's presence right there. Like how We are remembering Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj so much now. When he was present, we were remembering him. But we were satisfied that he is there somewhere preaching. But in these last few days, with so much, the intensity of remembrance has increased so much. And we are able to appreciate much more the qualities of Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj, how he was so selfless. He always thought of others rather than thinking of himself. One time he was asked by devotees, what will happen if Srila Prabhupada comes right now? And different devotees started saying, if Srila Prabhupada comes right now, he'll be very angry at the state of affairs. He'll be very angry. Why this particular initiative has not progressed? And so many different things. But Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj had very fine vision into Srila Prabhupada's love. He said, if Srila Prabhupada actually comes now, he'll be very happy to see all of you. He didn't say he'll be happy to see me. He'll be happy to see what service I have done. I have made this Abhay Charan serial. I have created different temples in Ujjain and South Africa. No, he said, Srila Prabhupada will be very happy seeing all of you, his devotees. This is the selfless and loving nature that he had. Then the gopis said, it's very good that Kamsa, because now they have started feeling the presence of Krishna through his message, they started expressing their real feelings within their heart. Very good. Kamsa should have been killed. Now that he has been killed and all the demons are killed, now Krishna must be so happy. He must be living so happily with all of his well-wishing friends and relatives. But does Govinda remember us? He must be having so many city women, right, in front of him. Does he even mention about us village girls? Yeah, we understand. Why should Krishna come here? He has won a big kingdom. He has killed his enemies. He has married the daughters of these kings, great kings. He's completely satisfied there. He's surrounded by all his friends and well-wishers. Why are we even expecting that he will come here? We are so naive. Uddhava Prabhu, please listen to us. When Krishna was here with Sankarshana, with Balram, he enjoyed all these rivers, these hills, forests, cows, the sound flute. And all of these just remind us, whenever we see these rivers and hills and forests, they remind us constantly of Krishna. We're just trapped in Krishna's remembrance. When we see Krishna's footprints, they are marked with divine symbols. We can never forget him. And Shukadeva Goswami then continued, in this way, Lord Krishna's messages relieved the fever of separation that these gopis were having. Then they worshipped Uddhava, recognizing him as non-different from the Lord, from Shri Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So then it is explained that, here there is one statement in text 45, which Prabhu just said, that, that Krishna is going to he is marrying the kings of the daughters. So, daughters of the kings. So why would he come here? So this one Krishna has not yet done. But the gopis can foresee it, that Krishna will be doing something like this. So therefore, why would he come over here? Directly the gopis are saying like this. So they're kind of predicting that what Krishna will do in the future. So it is said in text 54, Shukadeva Goswami continues to explain that Uddhava remained there for several months in Vrajadham, dispelling the gopis' sorrow by chanting the topics of Lord Krishna's pastimes. Thus he brought joy to all the people of Gokul. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gives a very beautiful explanation here about the potency of Yogamaya. That Krishna directed Yogamaya to compress a Mahayuga into one single Muhurta. And that time, by the potency of Yogamaya, Krishna actually was present there in Brajadham, in front of the gopis. And in that compressed moment, where Yogamaya compressed an entire Mahayuga, into one moment, Krishna came there. He actually enjoyed rasa dance. He enjoyed intimate pastimes with the gopis, and most transcendental divine pastimes, water sports, game of dice, roaming around in the forest, playing. All of this is done by Krishna and the gopis in that one muhurta, by the potency of Yogamaya, arranged by Krishna. And that is the reason why that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains in this verse that the gopis were very joyful. This is the reason why they were joyful, because Krishna actually came to associate with the gopis by the arrangement of Yogamaya. A very beautiful insight. So thus, seeing how the gopis were always disturbed because of their total absorption in Krishna, Uddhava was supremely pleased, and desiring to offer them all respect, Uddhava sang as follows. In text 57 this was said. So from text 58 to text 63, Uddhava is glorifying the gopis, and he desires to be a blade of grass in Vraja so he could receive the dust of the lotus feet of the gopis. So it is said, in text 61, Uddhava is praying that the gopis of Vrindavan have given up the association of their husbands, their sons, and other family members who are very difficult to give up. And they have forsaken the path of chastity to take shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, Krishna, which one should search for by Vedic knowledge. Oh, let me be fortunate enough to be one of the bushes, creepers, or herbs in Vrindavan, because the gopis trample upon them and bless them with the dust of their lotus feet. So, Lata Gulma, is what Uddhava prayed to become. Srila Shukadev Goswami continues in text 64 that Uddhava, the descendant of Asharha, then took permission to leave from the gopis and from Mother Jashoda and Nanda Baba. He bade farewell to all the cowherd men, and about to depart, he mounted on his chariot. Shukadev Goswami continued that, O ruler of men, thus honored by the cowherd men with expressions of devotion for Lord Krishna, Uddhava went back to the city of Mathura, which was under Krishna's protection. So it is explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that Uddhava did not want to leave Vraja, and his desire of becoming a Lata Gulma, means to be a creeper in Braj, was fulfilled by Krishna. During Govardhan Parikrama, in the Parikrama Marg, there is a very beautiful place called as Uddhava Kunda. There, Sri Uddhava is given permanent residence in Sri Brajadham. Uddhava is said to be residing there still till today. He is said to be residing in that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place of Uddhava Kunda. There, the very beautiful deities of Shri Radha and Krishna are there, and Shri Radha and Krishna look like little children. Srimati Radharani there is called as Bholi Gopi. She's like this on the shoulder of Krishna. Generally Srimati Radharani has different poses, but here in this Uddhava Kunda temple, Srimati Radharani is like, peeking. She's taking support of Krishna's, left shoulder, and, looking like this, like she's called as Bholi Gopi. And there's a beautiful murti of Uddhava, and there's an Uddhava Kunda that demarks that Uddhava is residing in Brajadham till today, desiring the dust of the lotus feet of the gopis. Then in text 69, the last final verse of this chapter, it is saying that Shukadev Goswami says that after falling down to pay his homage, Uddhava described to Lord Krishna the immense devotion of the residents of Braj. Uddhava also described it to Vasudev, to Lord Balaram, and to King Ugrasena, and presented to all of them the gifts of tribute that he had brought with him, which were given by Nanda Baba. So thus, Krishna's ultimate purpose, of sending Uddhava to Vrindavan, so that Uddhava could witness he could imbibe and he could follow the footsteps of the pure, simple-hearted Vraja gopis, and to imbibe the unconditional love of the gopis in Sri Vrajadham, that purpose was fulfilled. That Uddhava, Krishna actually just wanted that the fame of the gopis should be spread all over the world. And it was only Uddhava who could actually do that. Because he was not experienced in that kind of loving relationship with Krishna. So Uddhava went there, he actually witnessed it firsthand, and he came back completely empowered by that pure, unalloyed love. That, Uddhava, he only had a dasatva relationship with Krishna. He only had that very Aishwarya, very, formal relationship with Krishna. He never could imagine that Krishna, the rasa of, Sakha, or the rasa of, Vatsalya, of Madhurya could, manifest within, with Krishna. He did not have that kind of a idea, although Krishna reciprocated with Uddhava as his greatest Sakha. But Uddhava always maintained the relationship of master and servitor between him and Krishna. But when he came back from Vrindavan, Uddhava was a transformed personality. And he was able to spread the fame of the gopis, the love of the gopis, by, his, unparalleled love that he had witnessed by, the mercy of the gopis. So this Bhramara Geet, we conclude this chapter. This Bhramara Geet, it is said by some acharyas that it is also this Bhramara, or the bumblebee, is actually also, not just a messenger, but directly Krishna himself. Some acharyas explain that, especially Shrishmanath Chakravarti Thakur says that this Bhramara is non-different from Krishna himself, who came to see Srimati Radharani. And following in that same mood, in Sri Mayapur Dham, when there is Chandan Yatra going on during Akshay Tritiya, between the period of Akshay Tritiya and Nrsimha Chaturdashi, one of the days, little Madhava, he is dressed as a Bhramar. He is dressed as a little bumblebee, following in this mood of Bhramara Geet. So with this note, we'd like to end our session here. We thank you all very, very much. So we will share with all of you the quiz session for today.
The questions are: how did the gopis recognize Uddhava as the servitor of Krishna? Second, who is the certain Kachit Gopi interacting with the bumblebee? Third, what is the internal meaning when Srimati Radharani says that Krishna abandoned them? What is the meaning of Anunaya that Srimati Radharani is referring to? Fifth, from whom did the gopis hear about the previous incarnations of Lord Krishna? What are the 10 divisions of Chitrajalpa expressed in the Bhramar Gita? What is the name of the Sarovar formed from the loving tears of Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani? What is the actual reason why Krishna stayed away from the gopis? 10th, what was Yogamaya's arrangement due to which the gopis were joyful? 11th, which form did Uddhava desire to take in Sri Vrindavan Dham? What is the unique form of Srimati Radharani in Uddhava Kunda?
All right. So we thank all of you very much. From the bottom of our hearts, really, we thank all of you for all of your beautiful comments of encouragement to both of us. This really keeps us going. So thank you all so much for your online association. And it was really wonderful for both of us to dive into this nectar of Bhramara Geet. We first time attempted to sing it. So if there was any mistake, please forgive us out of your kindness. Thank you all so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you for giving this opportunity to serve all of you. Hare Krishna.
ISKCON Vartaman Guru Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.